What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. We're continuing to use my Bouffalant team. I keep saying that, that I had so much fun with yesterday, and really hoping we can kind of keep that success going. So looking at my opponent's first team, it is going to be a Groudon Yveltal. So it's a very interesting one at that. It is Thundurus, Yveltal, Groudon, a Landorus with, what's it called? A Venusaur and a Celesteela. So Incineroar is really good here in my opinion. I really like Comfey and Incineroar. Being able to set up Burning Jealousy I think is going to be huge. I definitely want Calyrex and probably Kyogre as well. I think it's fine to leave Bouffalant here because of the fact that it just doesn't offer enough. It still like is a great Pokemon. Definitely make sure you know to subscribe for Bouffalant. We are working our way towards 1 billion subscribers, and every subscriber helps. That's pretty cool, right? We're aiming to get it as soon as we can, and we can't really get there without you. So looking at my opponent's lead here, it is going to be a Groudon with Celesteela. So this is interesting because I don't really know what to expect too much, right? I don't know what Celesteela wants to do. I'm wondering if it is going to be a bulk up Groudon, right? Like if it's bulk up, that suddenly makes things a lot different. I do still want to try to go for a Trick Room. I think that that's going to be fine here. Go for the Trick Room and then go for... I'm going to go for the Parting Shot onto Celesteela here, just because I don't know what it does. We're going to see a Bulldoze come out. So that's interesting. And what unfortunately that means is you're going to break Sash on Comfey. So you should be able to pretty freely go for... oh, it's going to be a Meteor Beam. Okay, Meteor Beam. If Meteor Beam goes into Incin, I'm actually really fine with this because of the fact that we can bring out Kyogre under Trick Room with the ability to set up and get to +2. So Meteor Beam going to come out here. Please go into the Incineroar. Perfect. That's totally fine with me. I'm fine to give up Incineroar if it means setting up a Trick Room. We can then just immediately go for... what's it called, a Giga Drain, and just start firing off Water Spouts, right? Like we know we're gonna be the fastest thing on the field, so that's going to be really huge for us. So just bring out Kyogre. We're gonna just click Water Spout and Giga Drain, and that should, you know, be a solid amount of pressure that my opponent... I don't really do we think Celesteela has Wide Guard? I'm still going to go for it because I think it's kind of funny. I'm going to click it. I think we should be able to survive. So that is hopeful, right? I mean, we saw a Meteor Beam on Celesteela, so that really doesn't suggest to me you'd be supportive and have Wide Guard, right? I feel like that's normally reserved for different types of sets, as we are going to see the switch out into Venusaur. So this Venusaur coming out still should take like a very big chunk of damage, even though it is going to resist the hit. So we can most likely like fire off a second one without too much worry. We are going to get our Weakness Policy boost, and let's just see like how much this what's it called? Oh, you're gonna just oh, and important to note that the Celesteela is fast, quote unquote, faster than my Kyogre, as we do just pick up a straight knockout, and look at how low that Venusaur is, right? Like that Venusaur is not surviving another hit, even if you bring out Groudon, right? Like Groudon, sure, you're gonna set up the sun and do what? Like just have your Venusaur go down. So really feeling good about this position, right? Like we can also just heal up and say, hey, you get the sun up, but like I don't care. We definitely like are in range of one-shotting your Venusaur, so that's gonna be huge. We also do have what's it called? We do have Calyrex in the back, so not super worried about if they pick up a knockout, right? Like that just gives me a free switch in, and so I very much want to go for a Floral Healing onto my Kyogre, just to get it back, you know, a little bit more HP, and then go for a Water Spout here, right? Saying it's not really going to be a thing, and I think my opponent really going to recognize that the position that they're put in, yeah, they can't really do much. So overall, I think a really good first game, right? Like the policy absolutely putting in work. I am curious about that Celesteela. So we are going to see Thundurus. Interesting set, probably. I mean, no, that's a very standard set. Yveltal here. Life Orb variant with a lot of bulk. So that's actually a very interesting way of running Yveltal. Groudon here, yeah, super fast. Going for that Bulldoze. Not really sure what it's trying to accomplish, but it worked out. A lot of Bulldoze tech here. Right, we're seeing Scarf Landorus with Bulldoze as well. Venusaur pretty standard here, and then the Power Herb Celesteela. So my thought process is probably what you want to just get everything slower than Celesteela and have Celesteela use just a ton of bulk and HP to get knockouts. That's probably what I'm thinking the plan is. But overall, just a really solid first game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Solgaleo Palkia. So very interesting team. It is Rillaboom and Incineroar with Palkia, a Tapu Koko, a Solgaleo, and a Landorus. I actually really like Incineroar with Kyogre. What do I want to lead here? Bouffalant's actually not terrible. Bouffalant with Comfey, I think is I could do I'm gonna do Comfey Incineroar. I do want to try to potentially get a Burning Jealousy off, which I think could be relevant. Calyrex I think is a definite must here. And the question is, what do I want in the last slot? Kyogre, what? It deals well with Landorus. Landorus and Incin. Whereas I think Bouffalant just offers just better coverage, right? And also being able to switch into Grassy Glide if you choose to bring a Rillaboom, right? Like kind of potentially just neutralizing a whole Pokemon is a really big deal. So let's just kind of see what things happen from here. I think though that the ability to potentially go for Burning Jealousy is huge. One thing though of note is the fact that we are Choppleberry, not okay, so this is terrible. Yeah, we are super bulky Incin. I think we have to, okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I want to bait them into knocking out my Incineroar. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to go for the bait and say, hey, you are going to target this, you're gonna let me get up a Trick Room, and then go from there. So I think I definitely want to go for a Trick Room here, and then go for let's go for a Fake Out onto Koko. Right, I don't expect Koko to max here. We could see the Palkia. I'm fine. I'm literally fine if the Palkia knocks me out. Like honestly, in all honesty, that's not a big deal at all. We can bring out Calyrex from there and pretty easily just start going for Quakes and damage. We can bring out Bouffalant too, and go for Sap Sipper boost to start boosting my attack to say, hey, if you want to go for a max Wormwind, like that's not a big deal. We're gonna see the max here. So this looks like Palkia, which is really good for me. Like I said, I'm fine to unfortunately sack my Incineroar here as much as I don't want to do that. As yeah, we are going to see this Palkia get real big, which is totally fine with me, right? We can make it so we have a guaranteed Trick Room, and if we lose the Incineroar as part of the process, we lose Incineroar as part of the process. So yeah, gonna get the hit onto this Tapu Koko, and we should just see, I'm guessing a Geyser come out. We're gonna see a Quake. So Quake is also fine, right? We are not Shuka, so we should go down to this. Yeah, we're gonna go down. And so this is one turn of your max. I have the full extent of my Trick Room, and I have Comfey with its Sash intact. So that's really great, right? Like we can go for, we have the ability to immediately go for a Giga Drain into a Max Quake. Also, we know that if Koko has a Sash, the Sash has been broken. So we can really just start boosting up. But I was trying to make a pun about Bouffalant and boosting. If you made it this far in the video and have a pun for me, please let me know, because that was kind of embarrassing. We're going to go for a Max Quake onto this Tapu Koko and really just try and start boosting up as much as we can, right? Like we're going to say, hey, we're going to get a +1 super effective Max Quake. Should be really good damage onto this Tapu Koko. If you want to bring out probably like a Fake Out Boy, that's fine, because we will be able to go for another Quake onto an Incineroar, so that's totally fine with me, and really make it so that we can out pressure whatever my opponent wants to do. Right, as we're getting the big Buffalo, we didn't get to see it quite come out yesterday, so we're really hoping to make a big impact here. So being able to fire off, okay, so we're gonna see the Protect. So the Protect is fine. right? Like that also means that the sash is staying intact. We are going to be able to also get a special defense boost to more adequately take whatever hit this Palkia wants to go for. And also of note is the fact that Palkia didn't go for a geyser, so whatever attack it's going to go for is not going to be super strong. And we also saw no life orb, so that's also a really good sign, right? We are going to be at +1, or yeah, +1 special defense, as the Wormwind is going to come out, right? That's definitely going into Bouffalant. There's nowhere else for it to go. We take that super well, and more importantly, right, like we can very easily take another one. So I'm fine to, especially if we get a second Quake boost, so I'm fine to keep going for a Giga Drain here, and just go for another Max Quake and say, hey, we're gonna match your drops, and more importantly, we're gonna make it so we're doing better, right? Because we're getting a special defense boost, so we're gonna take less from you, and your dragon is not doing anything. And more importantly, after this turn, I can just go for a healing, right? Because your max is gonna be over. And so we now have the ability to say, hey, I'm gonna get to like a better state than before. And there's really nothing you can do about it, right? And if you want to switch out into Incineroar, that's fine. Sure, we'll go down to -1 for a turn. We're just going to get Bouffalant just that much bigger. More importantly, they're staying in with Tapu Koko, so that's going to be really big for us. One thing of note, though, is the fact that, right, like we still have, we probably expect a Solgaleo in the back, and I don't want to necessarily get too comfortable, especially because of the fact that, right, like Solgaleo can do a ton of work, and we have Calyrex as the last one. And we have Comfy out right now, so like we really want to be careful about how we play things out. We are going to see the Geyser, so that's even better, right? We are staying at +1. This Bouffalant should take the hit well, super well, and to the fact that now, like, right, we can what's it called? We can get a floral healing and recover just a lot of the HP we lost from this. We still have a big turn of max, which is going to be huge. As we are going to see the Incineroar come out, so the Incineroar is totally fine with me, right? Like you're going to bring me back to neutral, but we're sort of making my opponent make a choice of what do they want to go for. The tricky thing to note, though, is the fact that Palkia can go for Spatial Rend, and we don't really like that. I'm going to go for a Giga Drain onto the Bouffalant. Actually, I'm going to go for a Floral Healing. I think healing up is slightly more important right now, and I do want to go for a Quake onto this Incineroar. So one thing we do have to be really wary of is a Fake Out onto Comfy, which they're not going to go for. And I was going to say we do have to worry about a potential Spatial Rend getting a crit, but we are now going to be able just to recover quite a bit. So even though we are at -1, right, we should still be able to do a pretty significant chunk into this Incineroar, almost picking up the one-shot, which is just absurd, right? Like this is -1, and that's not even a critical hit. So Bouffalant really doing a good job here. I do expect to see a Parting Shot. Yeah, we are going to see the Parting Shot come out. This suggests to me that you probably have Solgaleo in the back. And so I think that there's also nothing stopping me from going for big damage into the slot, right? And saying, hey, let's just Quake here. And say, hey, if you wanna bring out Solgaleo, like you bring out Solgaleo. We are going to see Solgaleo come out. One thing of note is the number of Trick Room turns left, right? Like that is something we're going to have to worry about. As Spatial Rend is going to connect, we're going to get lucky, and it's not going to be a crit. So that's huge for us, and we also do still have a Trick Room turn to work with. And so, right, we still have one turn of Trick Room. I'm going to say let's just go for a Giga Drain onto Bouffalant, and then go for a high horsepower onto this Solgaleo. I think that that's totally fine here. We should be able to do just a really solid chunk into it. We also do have Babiri Berry on our Incineroar. I mean, on our Incineroar, on our Calyrex, and so that is that is not good. This is actually a pretty scary position, right? Like we're going to trigger a Weakness Policy, so we do have to worry about getting dropped, as we will see the Sunsteel Strike come out. This suggests to me you might be going into what's it called? My Comfy. No, you're going straight into Bouffalant, so that's unfortunate. And we should see probably a spatial. Okay, so we're gonna see a Spatial Rend, which is totally fine, right? Like, yeah. So I think what we want to do is we want to bring out Calyrex, and I think I have to figure out where do I think you're gonna attack into, right? I kind of have to hope that I have to hope that the Babiri Berry is enough to help me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set up Trick Room with Comfy, and go for a high horsepower. Yeah, and go with a high horsepower with the Calyrex, and make it so, right, like if you, I think that this is my best bet, right? I think that we should be able to survive an attack. This is also saying whatever you want to do should be fine. We're gonna see, yeah. So this tells me you're probably trying to break the sash on Comfy, and then we should see a Sunsteel Strike. We're seeing no Babiri Berry trigger, so that tells me, yeah, you are going into my Comfy. So unfortunately, if we had gone for a Protect and a Trick Room, we would have been in just incredible shape. But I think if we can, what's it called? If we can KO the Solgaleo with this high horsepower, which we should, survey says we do. Okay, so that's great, because that means your Ensign is going to only be at neutral. And right, if we'd gone for a Protect with Comfy and set up Trick Room with Calyrex, we would have just been in such an incredible spot. But here we do have a little bit of a tricky endgame, right? Like you're going to bring out your Ensign. We have to protect. The big question now is how many turns? Ooh, oh, actually, this is fine, right? They also don't know that I'm Babiri Berry, so the question now is there's one turn of rain left, so I think I have to protect to avoid the very obvious fake out. And so the question now is do you think that I'm Weakness Policy, and are you willing to chance that? Because they didn't see the Calyrex, right? I mean, not the Calyrex, the Kyogre. So they don't know if I have a Weakness Policy. They are going to fire the Spatial Rend, so that's definitely something to be wary of. And so yeah, I think if we had set up with Calyrex, we would have just instantaneously, in my opinion, won the game. We can click this button here, right? Like Spatial Rend does have a chance to miss. It also does have a high critical hit ratio, so kind of the best of both worlds. Spatial Rend gonna come out here, and it should do, yeah, I mean, that should put us in range of a Flare Blitz. If it doesn't, I think that changes some things, but we should, yeah, just go down to a Flare Blitz here. So I think we made the wrong read, right? I said, hey, we're gonna set up Trick Room with Comfy. If I had gone for the Protect and set up with Calyrex, right, we would have just been in such an incredible spot. But I mean, sometimes it comes down to it. It's just a read. We tried what we thought was best, and it just didn't work out. Glad we were able, though, to max Bouffalant and really have it put on some pressure. It was just kind of unfortunate that it didn't really do what we needed it to in the end. So overall, a really solid second game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Rinya's son. So Rinya recently has been picking up a ton on ladder. So it is going to be that standard Charizard Groudon with Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, a Gastrodon, and Zacian. So I think my best bet here is Kyogre Comfy, right? Being able to set up the rain is huge. We want Calyrex, and then the question is, what do we want in the back, right? Like that Gastrodon is going to be tricky. We do have to figure out a way to get Max Lightning up against it. We could bring the Amoonguss, right? Just trying to put pressure on that way. But, you know, this is an episode about Bouffalant, and I really want to show off what Bouffalant can do, and we're going to play Bouffalant. So, yeah, so it's interesting, right? Like, part of you wants Gastrodon, part of you doesn't, because of the fact that we do have access to ways of dealing with it. We also do have Comfy with Giga Drain. So, you know, it's not impossible, but maybe we just max, what's it called? Maybe we just max the Comfy and go for a max Overgrowth, right? We don't really need to worry about other stuff. And so I think what we want to do here is we should see probably, we're going to see a combination of Groudon Grimmsnarl. So Groudon Grimmsnarl is totally fine with me, right? Like we are going to get the terrain, which is going to be a big deal. The tricky thing though is, are we going to be faster than this Grimmsnarl? I don't think we even need to find out. I think what we're fine to do is, I think we're fine to just set up a Trick Room, like a Protect Trick Room, and go from there. So I think it's fine to go for an Origin Pulse. Go for an Origin Pulse and go for a Trick Room here, and just try and get some damage off that way. We could see an immediate switch into the Gastrodon, which is also not unheard of. But even if you want to do that, right, like we do have the ability to fire off Giga Drains, which I think will really make a big deal. And also, right, like, yeah, so we're going to see the Groudon switch out. This should be into the Gastrodon. Yep, we are going to see Gastrodon. Gastrodon is totally fine with me. We're going to see the Thunder Wave come out. So this is an interesting spot to be in, right? Like we are going to be able to not be put to sleep, which is a big deal, but we can't touch the Groudon or the Gastrodon. So something to worry about for sure. Getting hopefully good damage onto this Grimmsnarl, right? We're going to do about half. I don't actually love that much. I I do want to just go for a Thunder and not really risk anything. So I'm fine to click Thunder here. And I'm going to go just straight for a Giga Drain onto this Gastrodon and say, hey, it's fine that you want to, go for your Yawn shenanigans. I don't really care about them too much. It is unfortunate though that Yawn is normal type, right? So we can't cycle in Bouffalant like we can with Spore. So this should be fine, right? We should be able to do quite a big amount, as we will be able to get the Giga Drain off. Let's see how much it does. Yeah, like that's a third gone from this Gastrodon, as we're gonna see the trick revealed from this Grimmsnarl. So that's really interesting to see. We are gonna get an Iron Ball, so we're like going first in this trick room for sure. There's no real question about that. As Thunder gonna come out here, not enough quite for the KO, but we do get a nice little paralysis in return. As we're gonna see the Ice Beam come out. So Ice Beam, once again, really fine, right? Like Comfey is gonna take that super well, and we can just immediately go for a Giga Drain just to heal it off, to heal it all back. And I think that what I can do is I can actually just switch into Calyrex and go for a Giga Drain onto onto this Gastrodon with pretty much no fear, right? Like we just have a ton of damage. We no longer have our thing. What's our called? Our weakness policy, but that's fine. Calyrex is going to come out here, so this is a little bit of a tricky spot, right? Like I might want to go for a Giga Drain onto the Grimmsnarl to stop it from going for a Trick or a T-Wave. We're going to see just a very obvious Protect. I think that just makes the most sense. We should have probably targeted down into the Grimmsnarl, but it's fine. Perfect. We are going to get a Paralysis on this Grimmsnarl. I think what I want to do is switch back into Ogre and go for a Giga Drain onto Grimmsnarl just to stop it from, causing problems. So I'm going to switch back into Ogre, because Ogre, right, at this point has the Iron Ball, it has the Paralysis, and go for, let's try and get rid of this Grimmsnarl. I think getting rid of the Grimmsnarl early is going to be huge. We're going to see the Gastrodon swap out, so this probably is going to be into Zacian, if I expect right. Oh, it is going to be into Groudon. So Groudon is fine, right? You're going to set up the Drought, and we're going to immediately switch back in to set up our Rain, and so that really sort of takes away from all of that effort, right? Like here comes Kyogre. Yes, it is paralyzed, and yes, it is holding an Iron Ball, but it's still doing stuff, and that's what we care about. We care about the effort here on the channel, not necessarily about the full execution. So we should see the Giga Drain coming out. So this suggests to me you're probably going for a Spirit Break, and that is going to hopefully be enough for a knockout. I can't actually tell. Okay, so great. It is going to be enough for a knockout. So that's awesome, right? Like we now are in a position where we have the speed control, the quote unquote speed control, and my opponent really is going to need a Paralysis. And right, we have the ability to, with Comfey, just to fire off Giga Drains onto this Gastrodon, and more importantly, one should be enough to get us back to full for our Focus Sash. So I'm fine. Let's see, we still have one turn of Trick Room left, so that suggests to me a potential just double Protect. I'm fine to go for a Giga Drain here and kind of see where the world takes me. I think it actually isn't absurd. It's pretty absurd to max Comfey here, but it's also kind of funny, and sometimes we do things that are kind of funny because they're kind of funny. So yeah, I think we're fine. We're going to see it looks like, yeah, we're going to see a max probably Groudon. I think Groudon makes the most sense here. Groudon is actually totally fine with me, because what we can do is we can go for, so we are going to see the Groudon come out. If you get the knockout, we can bring out Calyrex, and we can go for a hit onto this. We can knock out the Gastrodon and just really set us up for success, as we're going to see a very obvious Protect. Nothing too shocking. The Giga Drain can come out. The moment of truth is Origin Pulse. Kyogre is unfortunately going to be paralyzed, so that's actually really unfortunate, as we will see a big Quake get fired off onto this Ogre. Ogre is going to take just a very, very big chunk of damage. I think we do have to try to set up Trick Room. I think that really is going to be our only out here. I have to accept. I mean, Trick Room is not ideal. I think, nope, stop that. I think, okay, so I think you're going to swap out Gastrodon into Zacian, right? Like that feels right. So what I'm hoping for is, okay, we're going to see, nope, we're going to see a Flare come out. Flare come out into the Comfey. So that's a smart move there. I think you're just trying to get as much damage as possible. onto it. And so we're now going to be able to, okay, so you're still, okay, so that's, yeah, because we're in that case, Ice Beam, we are going to be able to survive it, so that's a big deal. Storm Drain, yeah, that's really unfortunate there. Origin Pulse, though, is going to connect. It's going to do absolutely nothing. So, you know, you love to see that. This Kyogre is dead weight, and I think my opponent recognizes that. And so I think, okay, so what I think what's going to happen is I think you're going to protect Gastrodon. Nope. I think you're going to protect Gastrodon, and I think you're going to attack into Comfey. And so what I want to do is I'm going to protect here to try and call your protect and bring out my Calyrex safely. And I think with this is a dead slot for you, and you're saying, hey, you're not going to do anything with this Kyogre, so I'm going to leave it alone. And so now what I want to do is I've brought out my Calyrex. I'm hoping that I can bring it out safely. We can start going for Glacial Lance, and then what's it called? We can go for a Glacial Lance as well as a Giga Drain, and that should be enough. We're going to see just, okay, so in Earth Powers, we're a little bit wrong right there, but I do expect to see a Quake come out. I'm hoping that this goes into Comfey. That's not what I wanted to see. Please don't do that. So Groudon is going to get a boost here. The big question now is, what do we do here? I think we have to Lance. I think we have to Lance, and we have to go for a Giga Drain. Groudon's max is over, so I actually feel very confident with that play, right? Yeah, I think at this point a Glacial Lance should be more than enough, combined with a Giga Drain. Stop that, come on. Giga Drain onto this Gastrodon and say, hey, we're just trying to get as much HP back. If you want to go for a Yawn onto the Calyrex, I don't really care. I have Kyogre, which is essentially just a fodder slot at this point. And if we can pick up the double knockout, right, and like force out Zacian, which we are going to be able to get off a Giga Drain, which is non-trivial, but the special defense boost really sort of putting in work here, as we're unfortunately not going to get our Sash back, which is a big deal. The Earth Power going to come out, so this is also really shocking, right? Like, you're not even going for a Yawn, which I think makes sense, because you're saying, hey, like, it's not going to matter. We will be able to just fire off a big Glacial Lance, though. I'm hoping for a knockout somewhere. Unfortunately, we don't get any knockouts, right? We're gonna just kind of get screwed here. Shadow Claw gonna come out onto the Calyrex, and so Calyrex is going to go down. This should be the last turn of Trick Room, which is actually probably beneficial, right? We can bring out Bouffalant here, and Bouffalant can go for a strike. Is this the last turn of Trick Room, or is there one turn left? I want to say there's one turn left. Yeah, it looks like there's one turn left. There's two turns left. Okay. I'm going to go for a strike on a Groudon and go for a Giga Drain onto this Gastrodon, right? Like, if you go for a protect, that, like, right, you have to choose, right? You're going to either protect or you're going to try and knock out my Bouffalant. If you go for the protect, right, we get to knock out your Groudon. If you go for the attack, we get to knock you out with Giga Drain. So it kind of works out. If we see a Zacian come out, that could also be really huge. So then I think if we can eliminate this Gastrodon, which it looks like no switch, so that's good. We can then like Giga Drain into ourselves and make it so we can try and get a knockout onto Zacian that way. And so that sort of can sort of be a really good sort of endgame position. I think though it really comes down to, can we get a knockout this turn, right? We can, especially, yeah, if you give us, I don't think you're going to give us the Gastrodon. Yeah, we're going to see the Protect. The Protect, I think, is super obvious here. You're just trying to make it so you have the best chance of surviving. This, what's it called? The Bouffalant is going to be able to fire off a big strike onto your Groudon, and Groudon should, yeah, Groudon's going to go down there. There's no chance of it living. We do have now the ability just to go for another Giga Drain, as well as go for a max, probably Quake onto the Zacian. I think it might, honestly, yeah, we want to just go for a Quake. The Gastrodon could actually survive at this point. It is going to be pretty close, which is definitely scary to think about. As yeah, the Zacian is going to come out here. I do want to just put on pressure with Bouffalant here and just go for a Giga Drain. I think, yeah, right, like Quake is going to be big here, as is just a Giga Drain onto this Gastrodon, and it really comes down to some tops, right? And so then, like, we can try and set up another Trick Room if we can. If we say, hey, you're just gonna target into Bouffalant, we can go for a Protect Trick Room. But I don't actually know. I don't know if Comfey picks up the knockout from this range. So that is definitely something to be a little bit wary of, as we're going to see the Gastrodon or the Zacian go for Protect. So Zacian going for Protect here is totally fine because of the fact that, right, like we're still getting our max move into the Gastrodon is going to go down. So that's going to be really big for us, as we will just be able to recover a ton of HP back. And then I think a combination of a Quake plus a +1 Quake should be enough. So the big question now is will Behemoth Blade be enough? As yeah, we are going to see the damage come out. And so the big question is, do we think we can survive a Behemoth Blade? Do we think it's worth trying risking and going for a Trick Room? We could do that, right? We could just say, hey, I'm going to go for a Trick Room, expecting you to attack into Bouffalant. I don't think we need to... I'm going to go for the Quake, as well as go for the Giga Drain onto Bouffalant. I do expect us to be able to survive, right? And we do get to trigger the Sap Sipper. So let's see here, moment of truth. We should see, yeah, the Behemoth Blade. I want to say we can live, right? We are max HP, or not max HP, but almost max HP. Survey says 22. That is more than enough. And with this +1, we should easily be able to exterminate this Zacian. So perfect. I thought for a second it didn't get the knockout. We get a crit, you know, just for good measure. So overall, some really interesting games. I'm glad that Bouffalant really got to, and look, we even survived. So that's even better. So I'm glad Bouffalant really got a chance to shine here. I felt like last time it wasn't really putting in as much work as I would have liked. So getting the chance to really kind of have it put on a lot of pressure here was awesome. So I am a little bit curious about their team, right? We saw some interesting changes, pretty standard here. Double fire attack. We have Groudon with the Assault Vest. Yeah, we were able to pretty easily deduce that. Incin, not much to say there. Grimmsnarl. Yeah, once again, we're seeing Taunt. So I thought that was a really interesting mechanic that they didn't take advantage of nearly as much as they should. Gastrodon, yeah, scary in every single regard. And then a Zacian. So it did have play rough, so we would have been kind of in a really precarious position if they had survived. So overall, or if Bouffalant had not survived. So overall, some really fun games. Like I said, definitely make sure to subscribe so we can reach 1 billion subscribers. And with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.